Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the Chili Mountain channel. I know it's been a little while. Today we have Ultralisk with us. Ultralisk is one of the best players of Heroes of the Storm in the entire world. He's an incredible flex player. He's won X Cup, he's won Masters Clash, he's won tons and tons of tournaments. So today we're gonna have Ultralisk here talking with us about Maeiv, how to play Maeiv to the best of Maev's ability, and all the little tips and tricks that you need to get better with her. One thing that's important to mention is HeroesCCL sponsored this video. Big shout out to HeroesCCL. It's the biggest HOTS league there is. It's officially licensed by Blizzard. If you guys want to see the very best Heroes of the Storm players in the world compete every week, check out twitch.tv/HeroesHearth. So yeah, we'll just jump right into it. So I guess to start off, Maev's talent builds, what would you recommend for the level 1 talent?
Nice Memento, obviously, since you can do a lot of camps. And especially in the early game, that is very important for maps like Towers of Doom or Infernal Shrines. Camps matter a lot. They can push quite a lot. They obviously also give some XP. I mean, you kind of want to exploit that, the speed, since the enemy comp might be something more late game orientated. So that means if they are very slow in their camp, for example, you can invade. Since Maeiv also has a very good catch, very good early game overall, you can use that to your advantage and basically play off of that. If you get like the camp, you obviously get bonus XP, you push the enemies back a bit. You might be able to push, maybe you even get kills. Off of all of that, you can build up like an advantage and snowball from that. Sometimes it matters quite a lot, because even if you reach level 10 like 20 seconds earlier than your enemies, that's enough time to wipe an entire team, take down a fort, get an objective, you know, all that stuff.
Okay, that's a lot from the level 1 talent. That's a ton of value. What do you think? Do you ever flex this talent, or is this just like an auto pick, basically?
No, I always go this, whatever comp, just always.
It's huge. Okay. What do you think about level 4?
Mostly I would go Blade Dance in competitive games next to 90%. And since Pin Down got changed, since you get more reward, and it's even if you only get 1 stack, it outperforms the damage of Blade Dance. It is fine taking the risk not to get it, because the reward is so big. And if you complete it, it's absolutely insane, the talent. If you feel comfortable with it, or if you know you're going to play against something like a Samuro, or maybe even just Rexa, when there's additional buddies on the map where you can stack on, you can very often go into pin down, but usually only if you feel confident on it.
Okay, so go Blade Dance unless you feel I can definitely finish pin down.
Yeah.
7.
And,
what do you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and on 7 you also go Q. It is another instance of damage, like the level 4 actually. Why that is important you will see later. With the level 4 I mean Blade Dance actually. It adds more damage to your Q. The Q on level 7 obviously. Basically the reason behind it is that you want to do as much damage as possible with queuing on enemies, because that is your main damage spell. If you get really good on it, you end up top damage sometimes as a melee assassin, which is quite unusual considering that you are melee.
Wow. So there's all these, so I never really dug into Maeiv as much as I should have probably, but there's all these like little instances of damage that are kind of adding up as we go higher.
Yeah, that's important because of the level 16.
Oh.
I mean, on 10, it kind of depends what your playstyle is like. If you want to go more like for a wombo combo, or if you want to isolate targets. For example, if you have a Falstad, it works very well with it. You can like disc someone and then gust the others away and try to kill that one target. And that's also good against stuff like Tracer, Tracer and Genji and Zeratul, since they are very mobile heroes. And they're actually heroes that are very good against Maeiv. But with that ult, you have a little bit of counterplay. Because if you do hit them, they probably die in most of the cases, since they are also silenced afterwards if they like overcommit. And yeah, I mean, Warden's Cage, absolutely insane if you get like more than 2 people. You can hard carry the entire team fight.
Okay, so it's kind of like play style, like look at what the enemy has, like look at what you have, and kind of just like pick.
Yeah, it depends a lot on your draft and the enemy's draft.
All right, cool. What are you thinking for 13?
I mean, I think you can go either talent, although I like the Q the most because it's the most consistent. Also, if you are like running around poking a lot with Q like I do, you obviously have 20 armor all the time, which is great. And you don't need to use E or W for that. You can keep it for your engage still while having armor, which
That's
makes
nice.
you a lot more scary actually.
The W, it seems like the W is a little bit like, might be hard to hit sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the requirement to hit 2 people, it's not that hard honestly, but like you need to be unseen to ever reach that condition.
Gotcha.
At least that's how I feel.
It limits you a bit.
It's not that consistent compared to the Q talent.
What do you think about 16?
The 16, obviously the Q, since it does up to 5% maximum HP from the enemies every time you hit them with a Q. So we talked about Blade Dance and Q on 7, the Elun's Wrath, I think was the telename, which do instances of damage. That is important now because if you hit 2 people with your Q, that stacks your 16 up to 2%. Then, if you got the level 7 talent and or the level 4, or actually, I mean, if you have both, it stacks up to 5 instantly. Because, like, every time the stars fall down from the level 7, you get 2 more stacks, which adds up to 4 stacks. And then with the level 4 as well, you actually instantly have 5 stacks every time you hit 2 people with your Q. So that means additional to the damage of your Q, that is baseline, then you also get the damage from your talent, like the level 7, and the Blade Dance or Pin Down, whatever you pick on level 4, plus the percent damage on level 16, which you can imagine adds up to a lot of damage.
Especially if you're just spamming Q over and over.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
if you like hit 3 or 4 Qs in a row on enemies, they're down to like less than 50%, and squishies might even be down to like 20%.
Wow.
So you can legit just kill people by pressing Q on 16.
Okay, that's pretty insane. All right, so I see why you do this build now. And then, what do you think about 20? So do you ever flex this, or is this just you have to pick this?
No, this is absolutely mandatory.
Okay.
And on 20, there's a lot of variation, I think. It depends on your playstyle. But I like the movement speed for the reasons that, like, it also gives you attack speed, actually, which synergizes with the level 1 again, because your basic attacks stay spread with the nice memento. I mean, it's in the end even more AoE damage. And you can basically auto-attack whilst resetting your Qs. Like, because it has 0.5 second charge up time, the Q. And why I also like it is because it helps you to run into enemies, basically. Like, you can either just run around, try to position yourself good to get like more resets, or you can try to reach enemies with your E and W then, because you're a lot faster than them. Like, it's actually faster than mount speed.
Okay.
While the other level 20s, they slow. They give like minus armor, the Shadow Orb, like the lowest one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And the Shadow Orb Vengeance, I mean, I'm not sure, it kind of does the same thing like the movement speed, just worse, I would say. I mean, I would always just go the movement speed. It just checks up.
It's just a better one.
With the play style that I have.
Okay, cool.
But, I mean, you can also go the minus armor. That's also good.
Gotcha. All right, so we pretty much covered the build, I feel like. What do you think about, when do you want to pick Maeiv? Whether it's with synergistic heroes on your team or like other heroes that are weak against Maeiv on the other team?
I mean, you want to pick it ideally so you can, or like if you know the enemies are gonna clump up and you will get some engages. or like easier engages. For example, like against triple melee comp, like let's say the enemy is drafted like an Imperious foreman, like instead of maybe a Jaina or a Hanzo or Junkrat, stuff like that, they pick Imperious. And since he's melee, he's way easier to get hit by Q and your engages, obviously. I mean, you want to have like some sort of AoE. Like Zukov is very good. For example, if you cage the enemies and Zukov just silences under it,
Oof.
You basically already won the team fight.
That is pretty awesome. Okay, so like if the enemy is gonna clump up, probably good to pick Maeiv, and then if your team like punishes like AoE in an AoE radius, it's good.
The only heroes Maeiv is bad against is heroes that she cannot reach. Stuff like Chromie, Lunara, sometimes Hanzo. It really depends on the Hanzo player though, because he really needs to play safe. Tracer is absolutely insane against Maeiv. Like she can't do anything against Tracer actually. Falstad is also very good because he can gust like your team away if you go in too deep from like the flank, or he can fuck up your engage. If you get a good tether or something, he can just gust you and deny the engage.
All right, so you gotta watch out for those.
Yeah.
Maps, like any Maeiv specific maps that you're like, oh, this is great.
Maps where you can snowball early are usually very good for Maeiv. Then there is maps that are not that insane for Maeiv, but Maeiv is kind of good on every map, I would say. Unless maybe BOE, because you need race.
Okay.
And she doesn't really do that well. She's also kinda slow, while you wanna have something very fast, and ideally you have a lot of poke, which she doesn't have for like the immortal phase, so that kinda makes her weak. And I think that's like her only weak map, but besides from that, I think you're good to go to play her on every map.
Any other like tips for people about like comboing or like landing abilities or anything that comes to mind?
In the end, it's just practice how often you hit your Q, and your Q determines how much damage you do. It's a very important factor actually. You just need quite some time to get good with the Q aim. And with engages, so you mostly want to try to look for the enemies out of vision, where they don't see you. Like, there is some small corners, like right next to the lanes, you can hide in those. And if the enemy walks up, you can E in and W them and get a good engage on them. And dependent on who you get, you will probably get some kills. And you can snowball off of that again.
Okay, cool. Ultralisk, thanks so much for taking some time to sit down with me today and talk about Maeiv. Really important for everybody to know, Ultralisk streams. He's probably the best flex player in the world. If not, like really, I can't think of who's better. So if you want to learn how to get better on flex characters, especially Maeiv, watch Ultralisk stream. It's twitch.tv/ultraliskhots. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Check it out there. We'll leave a link below in the description. Check it out, click it. And besides that, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. If you drop a like on this video, if you drop a subscribe, that helps a lot also. Appreciate all the likes and subscribes, and we'll see you guys later with the next one. Peace.